Hey, what's up everyone? How you guys doing today? Danny Lighting back. We are here with MaxTheGamer, so he's going to be our guest today. What's up everybody? Say hello to Max.
Hello everyone. Good morning.
Can you guys hear him okay? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear everybody and everything? We definitely hope so. I see we got Fischel. What's up Michikitsu? JP. We got ClickFast. We got Fadu, Brian, hey, Miguel in the house. What's going on? We got Andy Styles. We got Kelly Penguin, WR Monster. Nice to see you guys. Alright, so I think I need to go try and start the wild card. And then as soon as we get the wild card going, let's grab the free car. Wild card started. And now I need to tell my crew that we started that bad boy. So that thing's going. So we got 70% more bonus RP. Now, unfortunately for the live racing setup today, I just got the brand new update. So if you don't have the new update, nobody's going to be able to find me in live racing. So that's going to make things a little bit problematic for a lot of you. Because from what I understand is not too many people have the update. But it pretty much forced me to update this morning.
Yeah, which is rather annoying. That's why you don't want to have your phone on auto update, because this game likes to be one of those priorities when they finally release it, but it's a partial release, so not everybody's going to have it.
Yeah, the main reason I keep it on auto update is because I'll log onto my phone one day and it's like 34 apps need updated, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
That's
I have 55 right now pending update.
Yeah. That's the only problem with that. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would run that.
And everyone. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a double-edged sword, right? So either you have all your other apps update normally, or you have this thing update, and then you're thrown into an empty lobby where nobody can find you. So, between the two, since I play games a lot, I just decide to turn off the updates and manually do them.
Yeah, I wish there was a way where you could choose that for each app separately. Like if you could just sit there and pick, hey, I don't want CSR2 to update automatically, but update everything else. Now that would be perfect. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never, in the App Store, they never made that an option, because I check settings pretty often to see if that comes along as as a separate option, but it's not. They just don't do it.
Alright, so I'm going to be in the 11.6 lobby today, but like I said, I got the new update. A lot of you guys probably won't be able to find me, so that is going to be a problem for a lot of you guys. But I'm going to type 11.6. Oh, it's not typing in. Hold on a second. 11.6 requires... new update.
So if you're using the Huna Pegasus at 11.6 with that setting, you're probably actually going to be in the 12-second lobby. It's not going to be 11.6. Maybe 11.9, 11.8. So if somebody who's actually updated is looking for you with a car that's not as good as the Hona Pegasus, then I would say dial your car to 11.8 to 12 first to look for Danny, and then move it either towards 11.6 or move it away from 11.6 on the dyno. So that's in the future, anytime you're looking for him based off of his dyno and the car he has, that's how you can more easily find him. But that also depends on which car you have and how well set up your car is.
Oh, look at that. There's not a real player in there. It's all bots. There's Pee-wee, Max. Yep. I found Pee-wee. Max's nemesis.
Don't let Pee-wee beat you, man. Because Pee-wee's dangerous. He'll sneak up on you at the end of the track.
All right, here we go. Let's see what time this thing even runs. Like I don't know what time the car actually runs, but we'll find out in a second. All right. Gilbert says, smash that like button. Thank you, Gilbert. There I ran 11.5, so I might actually be in the 11.6 lobby, the way I have it set up. So I usually try and
Well, the
tune
bot
these...
ran 12.8, so you're in the 11.8 lobby.
11.8, okay.
So
oh yeah,
it's
the bot
definitely
did
not
run.
11.6.
Okay, yeah. I might be in the 12.8 lobby. 11.8. 11.8 lobby. But unfortunately, I don't think you guys are going to find me. So they're finally bringing out something really amazing if it works properly. So the garage organization feature is going to be in there. So I guess you'll be able to search for your cars by manufacturer now. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I hope it works right. That'll be amazing. I mean, it's taken them what, 7 years? 8 years? 7 or 8 years to do that?
Yeah, it's been quite a few years. They've been talking about doing something like this for a while. I think when we first heard of it, it was easily 2-3 years ago.
I mean, that's something they should have probably brought into the game when it first came out. That should have been like one of the first things they ever did.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put a game with 1,000 different cars and not give anybody a good way to organize their garage, right? God. All right, so Michelle says, any update on CSR2? Not really. Not really. It's still in, what, Malaysia, I think, for testing, and it's going to be a while, I think.
Yeah, it's still in beta, so you figure they'll test it in beta for at least 6 months to a year, depending on how well or how quickly they're programming all the stuff into CSR2 and what kind of feedback they're getting from the beta players. But given the rate at which they're pushing out content here, I don't know how they have their programming team divided, but it doesn't sound like CSR2 is going to come out immediately. But you never know. I mean, in a year, we'll know because most of their planning is about 1 year ahead.
All right, so where is there's supposed to be an icon. Now I have the update, so I should have the garage organization feature, but the question is, how do you find it? Unless it hasn't gone live yet. I see inventory. Do I go to inventory? Nope, that's not it. Universal. That's just for parts.
Yeah, I don't think they've... I don't see on your side there's a live thing for the garage organization yet, because generally speaking, when they do give it to you, what they do is that a pop-up will happen and they'll say, oh, let me show you how this works.
Yeah, like on the little loading screen. The little loading screen. Did you know you can do this or this or this with the garage? Use the something or the other icon, but I don't see the icon yet.
Yeah, I don't see anything showing that there's any change here for that.
No. Yeah, let's go back into live racing, I guess. I mean, we're probably just going to get all bots, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be available yet. Interesting. So look, nope, that's not it. Let's go back and forth a couple times and try and get that little thing that talks about it on the screen, because I saw it earlier. You don't need to select the move button to... No, that's not it. It's loading really fast. Wow. Those load times are super fast. Multiple techniques for your gas. Not interested. How many of those dumb little tips do they have? Just show me the one I want, please. Don't care about Legends. Don't care about Legends or Finn's Tier 2 car. I beat that years ago. You can earn respect. All right. One more try. If that doesn't give us, then we're going to give up, because there might be 1,000 of those for all we know. Yeah. And it's loading in so quickly, I don't even have time to read it.
Yeah, William Puppy's good. He's not a puppy anymore. He's 3 years old, but he's good. He's busy barking at somebody outside right now.
Yeah, hopefully that goes live soon. I'm definitely interested in trying it out. But I was hoping it would be on there. But it's not.
Yeah. Did everybody get their NSXR yet? I'm pretty sure a lot of people have it fully elite already on top of it, but I'm just curious how many of you guys have already grabbed a car? Any of you guys building it?
William D loves
I have the car,
periwinkle.
but I haven't really done much with it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to upgrade mine too much. I might upgrade it a little bit and just run some of the events to grab a couple of prizes, but I'm not super interested in that event because the car just seems so-so to me. Doesn't seem...
I mean, it's a free car. If you have the event on the map, run the first 3 races, and they'll give you the car for free. So there's that little bit that definitely is a benefit. You know, at least grab the car. I mean, I don't ever let a free car go. Grab the car, hold on to it, and then go from there.
Definitely. But yeah, I put out a video on that the other day. I mean, it does have some live racing setups, but I don't think it's going to be the world's greatest live racer. It seems decent, but most of the other elite, well, a lot of the other Elite Tuners cars seem like better cars to me. I don't really like the way it drives. It's going to require a couple Stage 6 parts to be good at live racing. Just doesn't seem wonderful overall. I'd much rather drive the Sylvia, the S720, or what the heck, 720S, or the Supra myself, but that's just me.
Well, we know that the last Elite Tuner car they put out, the 720S, is pretty popular with live racing, and
yeah,
you know, the I suspect this one will be okay as well. The main thing that has changed the dynamic in live racing is that there's so many good cars now. So it's not like before where one car being really good, you put it in live, it's gonna dominate the lobby. Now it kind of evened out a little bit more. So I see 720Ss, I see a lot of F5 Roadsters, I see all kinds of, you know, high evo cars out there now. So you're not gonna have that automatic, okay, if I use this car, I'm gonna dominate everybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way anymore. Not that it's a bad thing, it levels the playing field a little bit. It's not as level as, say, you know, I would necessarily think would be the best for everyone, but it does level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm 100 subs away from hitting 50,000. So that's kind of cool.
Very nice. Congrats.
Somebody just said congrats on getting closer, but I lost the comment, but thank you. So William D says, periwinkle and not to me, the cars are not that great. Which cars? Some cars are great, some cars are terrible, and some cars are just kind of okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are going for that MK4 Supra. The sad truth is that MK4 Supra is not that good. It's nice to have the collection, but I don't I don't ever see it in live lobby for a reason, because people build it, tried it, and then put it away simply because they're not really winning that much with it.
It works well for me.
Right? In the end, you always want to win. Day Black, going on, my man?
Hey, Dave.
One of my crewmates in the house. All right.
All right, so Brian says, I see auto-clicking F1s everywhere. You know, I don't
mean,
really...
The F1 is the top car for swapping for RP, period. There's just... So far, I haven't seen anything that really outperforms it on RP, so...
I don't do a whole lot of...
Especially if you elite the rest of the legend cars.
I don't do a whole lot of live racing in the faster lobbies these days, just because generally if you are going to run into people running auto clickers or running hackers, they're normally in the faster lobbies. I just like to tune my cars to the, you know, 10, 11, 12 second lobbies and just hang out in there. I mean, you get more like, if you're swapping, you find, you know, usually some honest swappers in there. Used to be kind of the opposite, but I don't know, it just seems like those are the nicer lobbies at the moment where you don't have to worry about all the hackers and the junk going on. Like, I don't really ever run into...
Yeah, William's part of my crew now. You know, I got quite a few guys. Millen's here, so lots of people representing Helena Hitman here in the chat. And we all know Millen usually finds you, but unfortunately, I don't think he or I have the update yet.
Alright, so Chili is having a problem with Noro's tuner pit. Now, yesterday I was having a malfunction. It let me do the first race, then after the first race, it was like, get the car.
Gilbert too, yep.
And I would click on it, and it would not allow me to get the car. But today, there's 2 more races there, so maybe restart your game, maybe see if there's an update for you. Yeah, I was having problems with it too, but today it seems like it's working properly. But yeah, yesterday it was malfunctioning and I was not able to get the car. It was just kind of stuck.
Yeah, I just actually ran it while we were talking on my second account to pick up that NSX, so I have it. I'm not going to do anything with it. I don't have the tokens to build anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it right next to the stock 720S, and it will stay there until further notice. I mean, again, we have so many, like I was saying, we have so many good cars now that one more, one less really doesn't make or break my game. It makes very little difference to me. So I'm just going to build cars that doesn't require elite tokens, and I'm doing just fine against elite cars in the lobby, so I really don't see any reason to stress about it.
William D says, live racing has turned into NASCAR. There are a couple NASCARs in the game. You know, I'm actually surprised they haven't added any motorcycles. That's the one thing I'm amazed they haven't added racing motorcycles.
Yep. I mean, I guess I'll try to see if I mean, you know, since nobody can really match up with you, we might as well see if we can answer some questions, or if you want to jump on the content account and show the NSXR fully elite. I mean, there's some things we can definitely do for everybody.
Yeah. Right now, the content accounts are, I can't get onto either one. Well, I can get onto Nitro's, but I don't think he's updated it for a while. The other one, alright, the other one has the update, but it hasn't updated for me on my screen yet, so I'm locked out of it until I get the update. So I actually can't get on either content account to show that thing.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have to contact Nitro and ask him to update that account again. Me and Max both share like one content account.
Yeah, that one hasn't been updated in a while, so I haven't had access to any of the newer cars. But I watched your video on the Rocket Bunny Camaro.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Based on what you showed, I decided to go and grab 1 or 2 stage 6s. And right now I actually have that car in live lobby. Not at this moment, but I've set that car up for live racing and it seems to do okay. It's not a top car, but it's viable as a live racer for sure. It's something different to use. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Should win a few live races. I mean, cool car overall.
Yeah, it's a cool car. You know, it's a little different. It's a little bit different year than the Bumblebee Camaro that everybody's familiar with from the Transformers series. This one has a different front end, but you know, it's the same generation, but it just, the way Rocket Bunny built it with a little bit of wide body and everything, it's a pretty cool looking car. I like the way the green reflects. It's almost like a chrome green, which is really cool visually.
Yeah. William D's looking for racing helicopters next.
Now, Lost Same 13 asked the question about, can you hit 130 mile per hour with the Boxster S without any stage 6s? The problem with the Boxster S is that while it's a good tier 2 for Tempest, without nitrous stage 6, it's really hard to hit the speed traps with that car. I'm not sure if 130 is one of the later ones, but it's definitely going to struggle for speed traps without the nitrous. That's one of its main requirements to use that car. You don't need engine or transmission stage 6 for that car, but you will need pretty much all the other ones in order to finish Tempest. Tempest 3 particularly.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you install the the stage 6 transmission, the car gets slower.
Yep. And you actually leave engine stock to keep it fast. So, you know, stock engine, Transit Stage 5 is the final build, and then everything else you can max out if you like, if you have the parts. But the critical ones seems to be you need nitrous, you need body, you need tire. Those are kind of strong ones. And then the intake and everything else is a relatively depends on whether you think you'll need it or not. I'm actually popping up the Boxster S right now on my screen to test it for you to see if I can do it without stage 6 for that 130. But I remember nitrous being pretty critical to a lot of the runs. Now you might be able to do what I do, which is you use the nitrous very late to get that higher mile per hour. So I'm going to try to set that up and maybe we can hit it without it.
Now, Brian says hard to get game with lots of RP on your car, I found. I'm not quite sure what that means. So, ArtCat says he doesn't have a good live racing car. Are you sure? I don't know how many cars you have, but there's a lot of really good live racing cars. I mean, you can live race the Volkswagen Golf, the Tier 1 Golf, and do really, really well. I mean, it's not going to make as much RP as, you know, a Tier 4 or a Tier 5 car, but you can earn lots of RP if you live race enough with that. There's a lot of really good live racers in the low tiers, but when you get up into the high tiers, you know, of course, those are much better. But yeah, I don't really know what you have, but there's a lot of good live racing cars in this game these days. You just have to know how to set them up, I think. Lost, what's up? How you doing today? Mark Bass, what up? What up, what up? Samantha
Hey there,
Suzuki.
All right, so here's what I'm doing, and it may get you there. It's pretty close on the dyno for the quarter mile for 130, which is assuming you have transmission at stage 5, engine at 0. What you're going to do is you're going to increase your nitrous to a longer duration and then hope that it's enough to push the car into the 130 range. Right now, I'm still not hitting it. I'll just tell you that right now. I'm at 126.6. So it's a real tough thing to hit that 130 without that stage 6 nitrous.
Yeah, that's one problem when you get up into the Tempest races. Most cars are going to require at least a couple of stage 6. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, can I beat Tempest 3 with stage 5 only? And normally the answer is no, unless you have one of those rare awesome cars. There are a couple cars out there that can do that, but... Hey, what's up, Power? How's it going? TDR, what's up? Nice to see you guys. Click fast. We got WR Monster. If I haven't said hello to anybody, I'm sorry. Alright, so Brian says in slower lobbies, people avoid high RP players, in my experience. I don't know. I've never really noticed, actually.
I guess that's partially true. I mean, I've had... And they also tend to avoid players they think has really good cars. You know, where they've had bad experience with a particular car, they don't want to race you anymore. That's not unusual. The slower lobby is kind of messy when it comes to matchmaking. A lot of the cars that are really good, for example, would be out of the 12 and 11 second lobbies with maybe 3-4 upgrades. You're already pushed out of that lobby. So you're not going to see a lot of super good cars unless they're specifically slowed down for those lobbies. You know, I know the lurkers in those lobbies tend to be the dominating cars tend to be the Gamera. You have all those guys with their Porsche 992s, you know, Tuateras. These guys are just there on, you know, with a slow down car just to kind of crush noobs. Once you get beyond that, you start to see some better cars, but you don't really see a lot of the top cars get properly built in 12 and 11. Well, maybe not, maybe in 11s, but 12 and 13 lobbies definitely is minimal builds or down tunes. I mean, it just, many of these cars stock now, the T5s will run 13 to 12 without much of a problem. All right, so I was able to hit 131 mile per hour with the Boxster S without any stage 6s. I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it. So you're going to put all the parts in. You have to be full fusion. Nitrous is at 5.3, the final drive 5.0, and the tire at 5446. I will repeat this if you need the notes you know. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be launching it perfect, but short shifting pretty quickly to 6. Okay, so basically shifting all at 4,000 RPMs to 6 gear, and then you hit nitrous at that point. And, oh, nope, still no good. Need to delay a little bit. Hold on.
Trying to figure out something.
I need to hit 6 gear, but I need to actually go a little higher in the RPMs. Give me one more try here.
Who is Periwinkle? Because I don't see anybody named Periwinkle chatting, but people are saying hello to Periwinkle. I'm confused.
About what?
There's people in the chat saying, hello, good morning, Periwinkle, but I don't see anybody named Periwinkle commenting anywhere.
All right, so I was able to hit 130 again. So basically, if you let the short shift the first 5 gears to 6, basically at about 5,000 RPMs with that Boxster S, it'll put you into 6 gear pretty quick. But you actually want to go into 6 and get to at least 5,000 before you hit the nitrous, so you don't run out of nitrous before you get to the end of the track, and that'll push you right over 130 miles per hour. You could actually get about 131 to 132 playing with that particular setup. So let me know if that works for you. Again, that's all stage 5, stock engine, transmission, stage 5, everything else stage 5. 5.3 duration nitrous, 5.0 final drive, and 5446 tires. So good luck.
Oh, Monzagar. I never actually looked at the second part of your name. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, I'm not a very good reader, so. What's up, Ace? How you doing, buddy? Awesome to see ya. Thanks for coming out today.
So, Loz, I just told you how to hit that 130. Try to hit it that first. Eventually, if you cannot get parts for the Boxster S, the stage 6s, then you may have to switch cars. But before you do that, jump on the Boxster S, go to parts crates, and if you have enough bronze keys, you should be able to max this car on stage 6s very quickly. But of course, that depends on how many bronze keys you have.
Yeah, that's actually a car that I think is worth spending your bronze keys on. I mean, I think it's a nice little car overall.
Yeah, it's a usable tier 2 all the way to Tempest 3, so definitely something to consider. Depending on what you have more resources of, if you have more gold than bronze keys, switching to a different car could work, but you have to first know that you have another car that can actually do it. That's the important part.
Yeah. I don't suggest locking in a car to Tempest until you know it's already fast enough. Like, I locked mine in before they were fast enough, and it was a pain in the butt, and I changed cars here and wasted gold, and if I had to do it over again, I would just not lock in a car until I had cars that were ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it all depends on what you have. The problem is, quite honestly, most newer players feel that Tempest is like the story mode, so they kind of rush it. And by rushing it, you're not really doing yourself any favors, because quite honestly, none of this stuff with Tempest need to be rushed, and you need all the right cars to do it. By rushing it, you're actually putting yourself in the position where you're going to be stuck. So most of the time what I advise is just take it easy, play the game, do other events, build up a nice garage of cars by joining a milestone crew, and then you'll have options, right? Like, I put out the video, Tempest 3 Tier 4, the Cadillac from this season will do just fine for that. You need some stage 6s, but, it'll do 90% of it without even really any stage 6s. And then worst case, maybe spend some gold, swap out a car for that Sprint. It's a very good car for that. But again, if you rush, it's hard. That's the issue with Tempest. Transmission stage 5 lost. It's engine that has to be stock. Engine
you gotta
at
wonder,
stage 0, basically.
Did they... Oh, crap. I got a server problem here. I got the red Wi-Fi thing. But yeah, you wonder, did they intentionally set the car up to do this, or was that a glitch? That's what I want to know.
What, the Cadillac?
No, the Boxster. With the parts, like the stock engine and the transmission.
It's it's probably unintended programming result. I suspect they never intended for most of these cars to do what they do. That same probably goes for the Gamera and the Regaras and some of these other cars that have funky tunes. I don't know how they do their tunes particularly, but some cars seems to react very similarly to other cars. So I'm sure they're not coming up with unique tunes for every single car. No programmer is going to want to do that. That takes too much work. But again, lost transmissions at stage 5.
Lately, I noticed a lot of the newer cars, at least the Purple Star ones or prize cars, they're all tuned the same on stage 6 and stage 5, which used to be the stage 5 and stage 6 tunes used to be completely different on most cars. But I see a lot of the new ones, they're just, hey, let's just do, nitrous all the way to the right, transmission to the left, tires on 8. It's like, cool. That's actually nice for the players. But
the part of the reason they did that, one is basically because people complain a lot about the way the tuning works in the game. You can drop tire grip and transmission, and then next thing you know, you got an Evo drop, and then now you got a dyno buster. So by making most cars tune directly to 2.0, 0, 100, and nitrous to the right, they eliminate that possibility.
Yeah.
That's really why I think they did that. But it makes tuning very no fun, I guess. It's very boring to try to tune a car like that because there is no tune. You just set it to that particular spot, and basically it's just adding parts. And that's kind of why I'm leery of CSR2, because if they make tuning essentially non-existent, that game has no attraction to me. I'm not interested in just building a car and then racing it based on your build. You'll either win or lose. There's no variable anymore, and then that's not a fun game to me. Right now, the tuning is the only thing that keeps me interested in this game.
Yeah, right now, nobody can find me, so we're just going to go ahead and play around with this. Let's see how far we can get on a stock car. But yeah, CSR3 doesn't look all that interesting. I think there's going to be some tuning, but I don't think there's going to be much tuning, from what I understand.
You're welcome, Lotsame. More than happy. I mean, again, even my old videos for Tempest seems to still be valid. Good thing they haven't changed too much. I know that for T5, because they buffed the Regera, you guys kind of, in Tempest 3 Tier 5, run into a wall with the Regera right around like race 30 or 40 something. Tier 4 has been about the same, but a lot more cars can do it. Tier 2, Tier 3, basically the newer Tier 3s will destroy Tempest 3 Tier 3. But Tier 2 is still a little bit of a struggle for some people. And that Mazda, I still get people thanking me for that Mazda video, because today, that's still the most frustrating set of races in Tempest, period.
Sneaks should run around a 12-1 or a 12-2 something to beat Sneaks. But yeah, a lot of people, I used to have this really nice spreadsheet, and whoever owned it deleted it. So people are like, hey man, the sheet's gone. I'm like, just go over to MaxTheGamer's channel. He has a great video for that Miata. So I always try and send people over there when they ask about it, because that thing was a major pain in the butt. Like, I don't think I would have ever figured that out. I mean, I would have, but I would have probably sat there for like 2 hours trying to figure that out back when I didn't know how to play the game. I'm like, what is this? So having some sort of guide for that's huge. Yeah, Max got a great
man, that
video.
thing is such a turd taco, man.
That
car is, you're so traumatized by that after you play that part, that any Miata comes along and you cringe looking at it. It's like, what's a funny thing about playing CSR all these years, right? When you drive around in real life and you see a car and it sucks in the game, you automatically go, man, that car sucks. Oh, wait a minute. No. In real life, it's actually good. It's actually good.
I don't know if I've ever done that, actually.
Because whenever I see a Jaguar F-Type, I just go, man, I don't like that car. It stinks. But it's a good car. It's just that the game kind of gives you all these weird biases towards all these cars now.
You know, I actually saw a really cool little Miata the other day. Some guy who looked like he was probably in his 70s was driving it. It was convertible. He had the top down. There was a roll cage. It had some nice rims and muffler and stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know if it was actually fast or not, but it was pretty interesting.
I mean, spec Miata racing is huge. Think about it. If you want to get into real racing cheap, there's almost no better way than going Miata. It'll teach you everything about how to properly race. It won't break your bank changing parts for racing. It uses tiny tires, tiny brakes, just a little bit of oil, just a little bit of brake fluid. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect starter car for anybody who likes to race on a track. I mean, if you're a drag racer, probably not.
All right,
I wouldn't necessarily take a Miata to the drag strip. That's,
Artcat, so you got to kind of start off with the first Elite Tuners event when you get to it, and you kind of got to work your way through them. Eventually, I mean, this is like the last one. I mean, there's the main Elite Tuners events, and then there's a bunch of add-ons. And this is what, the fifth? I think the fifth add-on Elite Tuners event now, so you kind of got to work your way through them before you're going to get to this one. So
yeah,
it'll probably be a while.
You probably don't even see some of the newer Elite Tuner stuff. Yeah, that's correct. But if you got the GR Supra, hey, it's a good car. It'll beat all of Tempest.
That's an excellent car.
Don't underestimate that car. However, it is a little tricky to tune that car for live racing nowadays, simply because there are too many of them, and people keep bumping them.
Morgan says Tricky's got all the videos on CSR3. Does he? Like it notifies me about his CSR2 videos, but it hasn't notified me that he's been putting out CSR3 videos. That's interesting. YouTube must be like, okay, well, he doesn't watch CSR3, so that's weird. Huh. I'll have to go look at some of those and see what's going on there. What happened? My music just stopped. Max, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good.
I got a guy racing me at the moment, and I was reading chat. So, I haven't watched any videos on CSR3.
I've watched a couple.
So, yeah.
But nothing recent. Like when it very first came out, there was a couple of videos that showed like some random gameplay, and I was like, okay, let's check it out. Looked very boring. Tara, how's it going? Nice. Yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. We definitely appreciate it. If you guys aren't familiar with MaxTheGamer, you probably are, but Max has a great channel. He does some games and CSR and YouTube and all kinds of good stuff, so make sure you guys check out Max's channel. We would appreciate that big time.
Yeah, the one thing is that Supra is expensive to upgrade.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the more expensive tier 5s to upgrade, right? From a cost standpoint.
It is, actually. I don't know why, but it is a little more expensive to upgrade. I don't know exactly how much, but I did notice some of those Elite Tuners cars, the parts are a little more than your average car.
Did somebody ask Easter event questions? I didn't even see it.
Oh, about the Easter event? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, I don't see it either.
Oh, William's trying to answer one of your Easter event queries. The game takes you back to the map over and over during the event. The game always takes you back to the map. If you look at the next race, if it's that little map symbol thing, it'll take you back to the map. It does it probably 4 times during the event. Every time you have to lock in a new car or the race before it, it'll do that.
Why?
You run out of gas naturally. At the end of the event, it also could kick you back to the map. But usually, it's the race before the last race. It kicks you back to the map to kind of let you prepare. I think the goal there is to kind of warn you, hey, big race coming up, be ready. But yeah, I see that happening with all events. It'll push you back to the map every so many races.
So William D says he doesn't think it's to keep you from getting gas. I mean, I don't see any other reason why they would take you back to the map other than they don't want you to watch ads for gas when doing the event, because that stops that from happening. So I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to put a couple of upgrades on this car. Let's go and put our nitrous up to... We'll do a stage 3 nitrous. We'll put stage 3 tires. Oops.
Yeah,
Stage
speaking of purple starring the elite tuner cars, one thing you should never do is make it purple star before you acquire all the stage 6s from your gold star crates. Purple star cars, the crates become paid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's any purple star car. If you still have gold stars, you can use bronze keys to max out any elite tuner car. So never rush that final level upgrade to get the purple star, because it only hurts you. It doesn't help you. Especially if you're newer and you're trying to manage your resources and you're not trying to spend money. Okay, you cannot make any other car purple star. Only elite tuner cars, but only at the final elite level they turn to purple star. So
yeah,
I had my account since 2016, so my account's been around a while.
Yeah, Max is very correct. Yeah, get all the stage 6 parts and fusions before you make that final upgrade on those cars, because it sucks to be like, hey man, now if I want the rest of the parts, I gotta freaking spend my real money.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why when flash cars come around and purple star prize cars come around, I have to think real hard whether, I mean, I'm gonna acquire them if my budget allows, but the real issue is, even if I get the car, it doesn't mean I'm actually gonna be able to build it for free.
Yeah.
Where it becomes nice is if it shares stage 6s with gold star cars, in which case, easy way for me to build the car. But a lot of these flash cars are unique. A lot of these new prize cars have unique stage 6s, like the Easter Bunny car, the Easter event car. Yes, you can get that Camaro, but no, it kind of sucks without stage 6s. But assuming you want to get those stage 6s, you're spending real money. There's no way around it. It costs cash to buy those crates. So keep that in mind when, this is why when gold star cars that are really good comes around, my crew and I get pretty excited, because we got a bunch of guys in the crew that plays free only, but they're also, they're long-term players, and they're advanced tuners that knows the game very well. So we love seeing a gold star car that's great, because now we got something to play with for quite a while we get to play with different lobbies, build the car, mess around, that kind of thing. So the same goes for this NSXR. I mean, if it's a good live racer, slowly build it to about 34, even if you have the tokens, get all your parts, and then purple star.
Kelly said there's actually Kelly Penguin says there's an invisible button you can press to go to the next race instead of back to the map. Interesting. I've never actually tried that, but maybe I'll have to try that one of these days. I need to pee. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta pee. Be right back. I'll let Max entertain you guys for a couple minutes.
Yeah, so the issue with here's what I'm going to tell you. There's so many milestone crews out there always looking for people. The main concern is, of course, milestone crews usually have rules, and they expect you to follow those rules. And if you don't follow them, you're probably going to get kicked from the milestone crew. And the typical rules is you got to make so many points a season, right? So if you're trying to join milestone crew, go to any of the Facebook pages for CSR2, for recruitment. There are hundreds of crews looking for people all the time. You're not going to have a problem finding a milestone crew. The real problem is making sure you can meet all the requirements. If you're under rank 50, you have no live racer or much experience live racing, you probably won't meet basic requirements. Right, so that's what I'm saying. So the key to making RP is you need one good live racer that you can use either to swap in lobby or win. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the really crazy high-end cars. when I started CSR2, one of the cars I used to win in live for quite a long time was the A-Bars. Later on, I used the Civic hatchback in Tier 1, and that helped me make it through and get plenty of RP that I needed. The other thing you always want to do is you run every crew cup that shows up on the map, because stuff like supply cups, crew cups, they give you a lot of points. Okay, so you want to run all those. You don't want to ignore them, and they only pop up for a day and a half. So if you're not a daily player, you're probably going to be losing out on points. So those are the things you want to think about. But most of the newer players, what I notice is that they don't take advantage of joining a crew and getting the crew RPs because they're not used to it. The crews that are dead never finish any crew cups. So those are the kind of things you want to think about. But making typical minimum of a fresh milestone crew is something like 650k. You can hardly play and make 650k. So it's hard for long-term players like me to see a new player struggling at making 650k a season. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to most players that have been playing for a while. So just so you understand why people are kicking you for low RP generation. Hey, I see Denny's back.
I have returned. Alright, we're going to put a couple of parts on this car. Now, I don't mind spending my blue and my green ones, but I want to save the pink ones for cars that I actually like. That's the way I look at it. So right now, if I want to go to the next part of the race, I need to have stars on the car. So I'm going to try and level this up just a little bit, but I'm going to go to the point where I have to start spending a bunch of pink ones, and then I'll probably stop eliting this thing. But that's the problem with these Elite Tuner events, is it can take so long to get some of these tokens. And the worst part is I think they have a cap on these. I don't know if there's still a cap or not, but it used to stop adding up after you got so many. I assume it probably still does that, but don't know for sure. Because I think it used to stop at like 10,000 green tokens, and right now I had over 15, so they might have stopped doing that. I don't know.
We were just talking about that token cap stuff a few days or 2 days ago, I think, in our chat, and I still have like hard caps that are pretty low, and then some of these guys have been doing a lot of Elite Tuner stuff. They have like really high caps on their tokens. I don't even know how they did this whole system. So it's just like it's so arbitrary that I just gave up trying to figure it out.
Alright, TDR Pro, thank you so much, buddy. He says, sorry, Danny, but hey, Max, why don't you do more live on your account? And I always watch your videos. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just not... It's more of a time issue for me, and having the ability to actually sit quietly and talk for an extended period of time. Even when I'm recording a video, I get interrupted a lot. So that's part of the reason I don't do a lot. Recently, work's been so busy, I haven't even put up any videos. I haven't even had a chance to review some of the events that are coming up. That's really the reason.
That looks pretty nice. See what we can do on rims. But yeah, this is a nice looking car, actually. I like it. I like it a lot. I think I want white rims. I'm a big fan of white rims. I really don't like black rims. A lot of people love them, but they're really not for me. Let's see if we can get some rays. Now they're all locked so far.
Go to Donna and get your discount crate. At least get 10%. She may screw you and get you 10%, but you know, there's a crate there for percentage off on the token expenditures.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You are very correct about that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we all know how painful it is to get these tokens, so nobody likes to spend them without the discount. You're causing people heartache, man. You gotta go back and click that crate. Come on.
Oh, I still don't have any stars on it yet. All right, I still got to upgrade more.
Yeah, you just upgraded 12 levels, man, without any discount. Go back and get some discounts.
Yeah, okay, let's go find it.
You're normally pretty good about this, Denny.
I forget about the discount. That's something they just recently added not too long ago.
Everybody in my crew knows that I absolutely refuse to grind for tokens. It's one of my pet peeves about this game. So I'm like so the Elite Tuner is kind of off my I guess priority list at all times. So I never try to grind for these tokens. I collect them as they come. But yeah, that discount's important. If
50.
you're actually trying to build the car, you're gonna need that discount.
It said 50%. Now it's giving me 40%.
Oh, you lucky. You got 40%.
Should it be 50? Look, up there it says 50% off.
No. It's 10%
okay.
to 50%.
Okay.
You could get 10%.
Gotcha. See, I haven't really done any of the add-on Elite Tuners events for the most part. And when we did the original Elite Tuners events, I don't think that was actually an option back then. Yeah, 40%, that's pretty good. I wish I would have done that earlier. You guys probably warned me before I saw the thing, unfortunately. That's all right, though.
I got to tell you, the first day when all my crewmates were clicking, I think most of them got 10%. They were all complaining. Okay.
Yeah.
The guys that got 50% are like overjoyed. And people who even got 40% would be overjoyed. Most of us got 10 and 20%, I think.
Yeah, 40's good. Guy said I got 50%.
I had 20%, but I didn't have tokens to spend anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. JP got the 10%. Normally when I do it is a 20%. That's what I got the last 2 times, I think was 20. And then it ended, and then it gave it to me again, and it was like 10% on the last one. So, yeah, I guess sometimes you luck out.
I mean, you lucked out with 40%. Now it's the time to go back and make use of that 40% to get another few ranks up there. But, it depends on how much tokens you have saved too, of course. And also, don't forget, if you're running low on the green, go run that first race in the event itself. I think it's 2200 green.
Yeah, I mean, I think I already got that. You're talking about the Tuner Pit event?
Yeah. The Noro event, the actual event. The first, like the 4th race is 2200 green tokens.
Yeah, I've already collected all that, actually.
Oh, all right.
All right, so now I got some stars on this baby. We are up to, 3 stars? Perfect.
So
now I
if
can
you
go
get
race
past,
a few
I think
more.
once you get past 30 once you get past 20-something rank, it's all blues and reds. So you just need to have enough greens to get that far.
Yeah. All right, cool. I don't mind spending some of the pink
You got
ones.
2750 coming up right there. Look at that.
This is a great looking car.
Wow, this is, the old NSX, or that generation NSX is definitely a dream car for many people.
Oh, yeah.
My age, particularly, because we grew up in the 90s as teenagers. Would have loved to have owned that car. My friend and I were just chatting 2 days ago, too, on the phone. He used to own a 92 NSX, and he sold it. He sold it, and now he was telling me, he's like, man, if I didn't sell that car, it'd be worth so much nowadays. I go, yeah. We weren't thinking back then that either one of our old cars would be worth anything. At the time, the NSX dropped value so much. His 91 you can get back then in the early 2000s for about $30,000. I mean, people were selling them for $25,000.
I had a couple of friends
and then
who
they
had
just shot up.
I had a couple of friends
now you
who had
can't touch one
RX-7s
without 100K. So.
and Supras. and they sold them. That would suck, man.
Yeah, I mean, my mistake was I had a chance to buy a first gen NSX with a 94, and the guy had it up for $40,000. This is back in 2008 or 10. But instead, I bought a new car. But yeah, who would have thought? Again, the problem is, of course, I didn't have the extra money sitting around that I can buy the NSX and have a daily driver outside of it. So you really can't justify getting an NSX for a daily driver, especially in the Northeast.
I mean, most cars depreciate in value. Yeah. You don't expect them to go up in value.
Yeah, I mean, most cars depreciate, but and the NSX depreciated a lot back then. At the time, they were cheap.
Yeah.
The last 10 years, all of a sudden, because they're rare, and two, the nostalgia hit, and now boom, it's worth something. I mean, look at the 240SX. I had one of them. Back then, they were worth nothing. I picked one up literally off of eBay for $1,500, and it was in great running condition and perfect body shape. Now you can't touch one without 20 grand. So,
Penguin says, don't forget the insurance rates. Yeah, I imagine that would be pretty high on something like that.
Yeah, insurance. I mean, back then, 40K wasn't like super cheap, even for that time. But regardless, that car would appreciate it today. That's the difference. I mean, that car's worth way more today than it would have been when I bought it. But if we all knew that, we all be millionaires, right? Because we would be investing properly all the time.
I crossed the finish line first, and it says that I lost. Crap.
Yeah,
sandwiches.
That's that visual. It's on an angle, so even though it looked like you crossed first, you can still lose. You don't know how many times I've lost live races slowing down, thinking I still won, but I lost by like 1,000 or 2. CSR2 logic is right.
It's crazy, ain't it?
I think they did that on purpose too. It used to be lined up perfectly at the finish line, so I used to be able to better control slowing down. And then during one of the updates, they changed the angle of the camera to that new angle, and it's a lot tougher.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not to say they did that to screw me, but I believe they did that to screw me. So I'm still salty about it.
You never know, they might
because
have.
Now I can't slow down as accurately as I used to. But whatever. It is what it is. You adapt.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people complaining about that, actually, the camera angles. They're like, oh, some sort of thing or the other. I'm like, yeah, it kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an issue if you're not trying to slow down. Like, if you're just running all out and you want to beat the guy by 10 car lengths, that doesn't matter. But when you're trying to beat the guy by a fender, that's really obnoxious. It becomes really hard to do that.
But also, like right there, I thought I won and then I lost. Then you get a little disappointed. You're like, man, I thought I won. So there's also that part of it too.
Yeah, so why slow down at the end of a race? So here's the little tidbit, okay? I have a video on something about this anyway, but basically in live racing, this game is set up in time brackets. So you fall into a bracket of cars that all are within a certain time frame. Let's just say Danny was at 11.6. So you usually race cars between 11.6 to say 12 if you have a good car. Or you can race cars that are 12 or 11.6 to 11.3s if you don't have good lobbying. So what happens is, let's say you keep running 11.5s instead of your dyno of 11.6. and you don't slow down, the game will eventually try to put you with cars that are running 11.5s. The problem there is that people who dyno 11.5 might be able to run 11.3. So now you're going to start losing. And that's really why we slow down. We want to keep our cars running within a particular dyno time to avoid moving against or moving within the lobby into the faster end against faster cars, so you can keep winning. Particularly if you're someone who's going to be, running a car that has quote lobby advantage, meaning it's running against opponents much slower than its dyno. You want to keep it that way. Okay. Same goes for guys that down tune. And same goes for guys that like to bet 200K. They want to know what lobby they're in so they know they can crush you. And that's a strategy that's used to keep the cars in the right place.
I'm going to try and live race this on stage 3 and stage 4 parts and see what we get. Oh, I forgot I'm going to find nothing but bots, so that's not going to tell us crap.
Yeah, I mean, if you're finding nothing but bots, it's actually a way to slow your car down to a better lobby by running slow. I mean, that's, you know, when I update early and I'm stuck with bots, that's kind of what I do with a lot of my cars. I just use that opportunity to reset them.
Yeah, I don't race a lot of bots, but sometimes it is nice when they pop up.
All right, so talking about the tunes for the Easter Camaro. Unfortunately for that car, without a stage 6, it's not very good. I mean, it's usable, but it's not great. Body stage 6 is the big boy that really makes it more viable. Transmission helps as well, because I saw you put body and trans on.
Yeah.
And the Evo jumped to like 1900.
Yeah, it made a huge difference.
Right?
Yeah, it was done like 14 or 15 or something. Yeah, it was a huge jump.
So that's a big change because you were at 600 something, 600 something performance points, no matter what. You're talking about 1-to-3 ratio to make a car kind of start to be good. So that means you need about 1800 Evo to make it viable. 1200 or 1500 Evo is kind of putting you where you really wouldn't have much advantage. And then more than likely after a few hard runs, that car is done. So sadly, it's a purple star car. So without spending on crates, you're not getting those stage 6s right now.
Yeah, I did put out a video about how to set that car up. I think yesterday or maybe the day before.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it was like yesterday you put that out. So, I mean, again, I saw that stage 5 setup versus stage 6. The Evo was like a 400-point jump. That's a big deal. I mean, that's a lot of jump. And it changes the dyno quite a bit where it goes from average in the lobby to pretty decent in the lobby. So you kind of want that.
So one thing that kind of ruined Camaros for me is we used to know this guy and he had a Camaro. It was like, I don't know, it was all beat up and me and him didn't get along very well, and he loved that Camaro, and we would go places and he would sit at the stoplights and just spin the tires and smoke everything out, and I don't know, me and that guy just never got along. It kind of made me hate Camaros because he loved them so much. That's one of the reasons
that exact Camaro, that green Camaro model, I remember that car from high school because I took auto shop. And one of the seniors in the school was also taking auto shop. I was only a freshman. And in the teacher used to let him work on his Camaro in the shop. And that was the Camaro, that exact model with the same front end. So, and he had like a big V8 in it. It was lumpy. It just go boom, 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 boom. Like in the shop, it's like, you know, big old open fan with no fan shroud, so just like I'm going my fingers. I did not want to get near that thing because I like to keep my fingers. But yeah, it was a pretty cool car. Being that it was still being built, of course, naturally it was all primered. You know, it didn't even have paint on it.
Al Herbert has a great idea. It says every day you should go and turn your purple tokens into your blue ones into purple every day. That's actually a good thought. I should start doing that. Purple for me have always been the hardest ones to get, so I have no problem getting a bunch of blue and a bunch of green ones, but the purple ones have always been a pain.
Are you talking about I call them the red fusions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're epics, right? They're always going to be hard to get.
Well, not the fusions, but the elite tuners tokens.
Oh, the token. Oh, the red tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a pain. But that's why people get so bent out of shape doing showdowns, because you don't get to those red tokens until you get to a certain point in the showdown, in the rankings. or you do so many races to get there. So I mean, I have crewmates that do like 500 races in Showdown. I don't know how they can suffer through it, but they do. They haven't. That's how they get a lot of their red tokens.
So Wenpu, yeah, showdowns and elite tuners events are the two main ways to get those tokens. Or spend a bunch of money if you have a big, giant, massive, ginormous wallet that's like this big. Then you can go buy some of those if you want, but...
Which Camaro is that, Lost? I mean, I know, I can't remember which Camaro was in the Fast and Furious. Was that the 69? I mean, I like the 69 Camaro, that generation. There was a movie years ago. I forgot the name of the movie, of course, but there was a black 69 Camaro in that movie, and it was gorgeous. And that kind of got me started looking at those old Camaros. The Yenko Camaro, yep. So yeah, the 69 is a gorgeous Camaro. That's really nice. And also, like the 69 Camaro and the same generation fastback Mustangs, and the Boss Mustangs of that generation, they're just beautiful cars. Really well designed, looks great. I don't even care that stock back then. They're a handful. You know, you can always upgrade them a little bit. 64 Nova. Yep, Nova's another popular old muscle car, absolutely. So Wenpu, the event items sometimes reset, but eventually run out. Like I've been buying them out of the event item shop now. I don't see any good tokens in there. I can see gold tokens in there because I haven't bought them because I'm always capped. But the red and blue and greens, I basically have used up all the options.
We got to go try something. Now that there's a new car, let's go see if it's put any new stuff into my event shop. But yeah, mine's been empty for I don't even know how long. But yeah, I never thought. Maybe they'll add some stuff in there since we got a new Elite Tuners car. Probably not, but I'm going to check.
In the movie, it was a 1969 RS. You're right, Pal Dog. But Eleanor, there's an interesting story about Eleanor, and it recently was in the papers again. So the family that owned the rights to Eleanor used to sue everybody. So nobody can build any Mustangs that look like Eleanor without getting sued. So a pact or some kind of organization recently won their lawsuit against that family. And now people can finally build Eleanors.
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it doesn't make them that much cheaper, but they're out there now. Black Sabbath is releasing some old school albums. I have to check that out. I like their songs.
Oh, wait, they're making new albums?
No, they're releasing the old stuff.
Oh, okay. But yeah, generally, I think after you buy something in the event shop so many times, it disappears. I don't remember if it was 3 times or 4 times or what, but you can buy each thing only a couple of times, and then whoop, it's gone. Now, once for me,
Charger, that's popular, of course. That's Fast and Furious as well, right? Isn't that the black Charger that Dom was using? Or is that 67 or 69? I can't remember that Charger's year.
Yeah, it was 60 something. I know that much. All right, 440 pink ones. Yay! I'm upgrading a car just to get those pink ones right there.
Oh, his is a 70. Okay. I got a guy. This guy is part of the, like, I guess it's a club, right? And what they do is they remake movie and TV show cars. So they have the Duke of Hazzard Charger down to like he drives in my neighborhood every so often to visit a friend. So I had some chance to check it out up close. It literally looks just like the Duke of Hazzard movie car. I mean, they got the paint, everything down to the, minute details. Crazy looking car. Really, really cool.
I think this NSX needs to be like a metallic
General
blue.
Lee, yep, the General Lee.
Yeah, I think it needs to be blue.
I've seen the Roadrunner. That's an awesome car. I mean, if that passes down to you, you're a lucky man. When I go to Cars and Coffee around here in the before they shut that one down because some idiots were doing burnouts. But that Cars and Coffee used to have a lot of these nice classics mixed in with exotics, all hanging out together. And the Roadrunner, there was a guy there with the Roadrunner. There was a guy there with a Superbird. You know, that's another car you just don't see, the Plymouth Superbird. So,
wait, they closed Cars and Coffee?
Mustangs, Camaros, yeah.
Because of somebody doing burnouts, huh? That's sad.
Yeah, so, you know, I don't understand why people have to come and ruin something that's good. You know, you got guys that were at one point bringing like McLaren Senna to these Cars and Coffees. I haven't seen so many cool exotics. I saw the SVJ, Lamborghini SVJ Aventador up close, and it still had the dealer tag on it. I mean, not dealer, but the temporary tag on it. So guys were bringing some really awesome cars to this Cars and Coffee, and then some guys came in with some new Chargers, did a bunch of burnouts, and next thing you know, the cops came, and they literally, the founder of the Cars and Coffee ended up ending it. Because of that, because they were tired of just managing. It got too big, so it sucks. I did one video of that Cars and Coffee on my channel, and I was gonna do more, but then it got shut down.
Yeah, I mean that looked pretty awesome. Max used to always show me photos from there, and there were some cool cars all the time.
Yeah, I mean I used to send you pictures. You know, you remember?
Yeah.
And people bring a lot of really awesome cars, and it kind of sucks. It was literally 5 minutes from my house. I would go once a month on Sunday. I just drive 5 minutes away and go to this awesome Cars and Coffee with all these exotics and muscle cars, and you know, and me with my little Elantra in now and then. But the point is, it was fun. It was really fun. But yeah, some people had to ruin it. Now I have to drive like an hour away for the same thing.
Yeah, that sucks, actually. We used to have this little 1950s diner called Winks, and they would have car shows every weekend, but I don't know, eventually, I guess, for some reason, Winks shut down, but we had that for years. People would bring out their classic cars. Every once in a while, you'd get like an idiot doing a burnout or something, but most people were pretty respectful with it.
Yeah, most people are pretty respectful. I mean, we have actually Hatboro, which isn't far from me. The township holds a summertime. They hold like a monthly car meet. They literally shut down Main Street in that little town. The police is involved, everybody's there, and then all the cars line up on both sides of the street. All the shops are open, you get food, people sit out on lawn chairs. Pretty awesome. I'm in Pennsylvania, Paul Dog. So that's, I'm not in Ohio. It's not an original. I mean, it's a replica, but the guy did a good job, and he used to come visit a friend of his in my neighborhood, so I get to see it all the time. So, and I saw, for example, I have two guys in my neighborhood that owns R32 and R33 Nissans GTRs. The R32 drives all the time. The R33 I saw in his garage, but so. Yeah, a lot of car guys out here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, hometown, like a Saturday night, they call them like a Saturday night cruise or something in these towns, which is really fun. A lot of, mostly muscle cars and classic cars. Make it pink, man.
I don't like any of these colors. I'm looking for a nice blue, but there's not a blue that I like. I'm looking for like the, like the WRX blue, or, like a nice, shiny, metallic blue, but they're all like dull, boring blue colors. I guess we'll keep a red.
Yeah, Central Jersey. I used to go out to Englishtown Raceway Park all the time before they shut the drag racing down. I used to go drag race there. They still have drifting there, but the local people that got the $1 million homes eventually shut that track down. So so now I'm out of a place I used to like drag racing at.
I need bigger rims.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Bigger rims, please.
Yeah, ACO shut down too. You know that South Jersey. So Jersey's all Jersey's racetracks, drag strips, pretty much shut down. ACO's gone. Englishtown's gone. Those are the two major ones. So it's like New Jersey basically killed drag racing in the state.
I don't like any of these wheels.
Speaking of which, actually, I was planning to go to a drag racing event today. Originally, it was BMW versus the world. Beamers versus the world was the event, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, Beamers versus the world. I'm definitely going. I'll be the world racing against these Beamer guys and see how it goes. And then it rained all day yesterday, so the track canceled the event. So that's kind of a bummer because I was, you know, otherwise right now I'd be at a drag strip getting ready to drag race. But the positive side is now I get to chat with Danny on his live stream.
I haven't been to a drag strip in a long time. We used to have a little, I think we have something down here kind of a couple hours away from my house called Dragway 42. And they would have like every Thursday or Wednesday or something. They would a night you could go pay $10 or $20. You could just run down the drag strip as many times as you want. It was pretty awesome. So everybody used to go do that all the time, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know if they're still doing it. I'm talking about
legal drag racing, guys. You know, people do illegal drag racing in New Jersey all the time, sure. But I'm talking about like legal drag racing venues are basically done. I mean, Front Street Philly, you know, Philadelphia has a particular, I guess they're a police task force against drag racers, illegal drag racing in Philly. So they have an actual group of cops specialized just to chase down and ticket drag racers, because we have that going on a lot in Philly, illegal drag racing. Recently, they're probably not enforcing it as hard, but for a while, they were all over it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to race, you should probably do it on a track. I know a lot of people who have just got crazy and wrecked and destroyed cars trying to do some illegal drag racing.
Slapped out cars.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, the clutch plates saved itself from some destruction today, but you know, no, I didn't go to the auto show. I haven't. I was actually talking about going to the New York Auto Show with friends, but they have visitors from overseas, so the option's kind of off the table for now. They don't lock people up for racing. They suspend your license for a year and they ticket the hell out of you. They might be able to seize your car too. I'm not sure. I have some friends who got caught by that task force, and it wasn't pretty. So,
yeah, I have a friend who got caught doing like 100 and some miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. Like, he's got an awesome drag racing car. He's got an old Mercury XR4 Ti. And he just put a bunch of new upgrades on it. Yeah, let's take it out for a spin. Floored it, got up to like 110 or 107 or something ridiculous, and the cops got him. And yeah, he lost his license. It cost him thousands of dollars to get his license back. It was pretty bad. The cops like, I should seriously arrest you and take you to jail, but they didn't. They just fined the crap out of him. I think it was like 3 years he was only allowed to drive to work or something like that. So yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on out there. I mean, I watch videos from guys that I went to a kart meet with, and they're always doing these highway pulls against other people. I'm like, yeah, it's cool and all, but it is very dangerous. On the racetrack, any racetrack. It's sanctioned. It's safe. Well, it's not 100% safe. If you can still crash, but yeah, it's just stuff that I prefer to go to a track if I'm going to do any racing.
It's safe-ish. Did I see the latest F1 race? Dexter, what's up, buddy? Nope, have not seen that. I don't really watch a lot of TV or anything, so I don't really keep up on that kind of stuff.
The only thing, one of my crewmates into F1, he always sends me these videos and memes and Instagram videos about Ferrari. People making fun of Ferrari. I don't know. Ferrari's been getting a lot of flack from the F1 fans in the last year or so.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not a big Ferrari fan. There's a lot of reasons I don't like Ferraris, but
if we're talking about the new F1 GTR in the game, that's coming. Of course, it's got to be gray, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see how good that car is.
Yep, ArtKit says Ferrari gets the stick for suing everybody. Yeah, I would never own a Ferrari because they're crazy. Ferrari is a crazy company. They're probably going to try and sue me for saying that, but they're crazy. What's up, 1 A, B, C, D, E, F? Nice to see you guys. So yeah, I mean, I'm letting Max do a lot of talking here, guys. So if I haven't said hello or whatever, I'm just kind of doing some races. I mean, you guys don't get to hang out with Max too often, so I'm just kind of letting you guys chat with Max here. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming out. Again, make sure you guys check out Max on YouTube if you haven't already. He's got a really awesome YouTube channel. Alright, so Lo says, why did Hot Wheels lose the license to Ferrari? I don't know.
I mean, because Ferrari demanded money and Hot Wheels didn't have the money to pay them. Hasbro has been short on cash recently. You see all the stink about Hasbro? They're not doing great. So yeah, I'm on Danny's Discord. So Danny is not being Danny today. Max is being Danny.
I've been replaced today, right? Max is my replacement.
You're just being a nice host. You're letting the guests do all the talking.
Exactly.
Oh, so E30 M3 is coming to the game. That'll be good. I like that car. I hope it doesn't suck. That's the only thing. The problem with this game is anytime a cool car comes to the game, I have to like first curb my enthusiasm because it could really stink in the game.
Yeah.
And it takes all the fun out of having the car added. It's like, oh yeah, the car's added, but it sucks. I don't want a sucky car that I like. Come on. And they've done this to us so many times, Daddy. How many cars can you name that you love that stinks in this game?
There are so many cars that I wanted to be good and they weren't. You get so disappointed sometimes. You're just like, yes, they added so-and-so. And then you get it, and you try it, and you drive it out. Or you drive it and you try it out, and you're just like, aww. And then you throw it in the trash can and it collects dust.
Somebody like the Apollo, right? The Apollo is such a cool car. That's like Batman's ride right there. And Apollo just isn't that good. And they screwed up the introduction too. They said, oh, it's going to be the new fastest car in the game. And it turned out to suck. It's like, come on, guys. Yeah. How can you ruin these? I don't know. I mean, I'm just...
Somehow they do.
And they're way more than that. I mean, that's just one example.
But no, there's so many great cars. And for some reason, they seem to hate most Porsches. There's not a lot of good Porsches in the game. Most of the GTRs are terrible.
Other than that Tier 4 BMW M4 competition or CSR competition, most BMWs are not very good in the game. No. And Mercedes. What is up with all the Mercedes?
Do we even have any good Mercedes?
The coolest Mercedes in the game sucks.
I don't think we have any. They're all crap, aren't they? Name one good Mercedes.
I mean, the SLR McLaren Mercedes is usable. And this AMG S63 Coupe is usable. But outside of that, yeah, like the what's that one? The GTR, right? The GTR.
Yeah, that's a nice looking car.
GTR McLaren
Nice
that we got
looking
as a
car.
prize car, the race car version that everybody loves. Come on, guys, you know that car stinks.
Yeah, why do they do that? It's like they hate certain brands. Maybe if the brand's charging them too much money to use the license,
I call it the British bias, man. It's the British bias. But then they did Jaguar dirty too, so I don't know. They don't even like their own brands.
That's true.
Like Land Rover and Jaguar got their short end of the stick too. So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, Melon's right. The Mercedes G-Wagon's okay, but
oh yeah, the G-Wagon's okay.
How many Mercedes in the game? How many are actually decent, right? Versus some brands, it's just like they're all decent. It's weird. Jaguar and Land Rover don't have good cars anyway. Oof. Oh man, that's rough. Come on. I mean, that XJ220 Jag is pretty cool, and the CX75 is pretty cool. I really wish both were better. The XJ at least is usable, but still. So yeah, it's Max. I'm here. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream.
Yep. Mr. Max is in the house.
British bias.
They didn't make the Mini Coopers very good. And where's the original one? We want an original Mini Cooper. Imagine that. That'd be cool. Like a tier 4? A tier 4 original Mini Cooper. That would be awesome.
I mean, they can justify any modified car into any tier they want, right? So, you know, but yeah, they haven't done much with most of the British brands either. I know it's Chinese now, but still, the point is, or BMW owns Mini, right? So it's not Chinese, it's German. But I think Land Rover is owned by the Chinese, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. That I'm not sure about.
You're really making use of that 40%, Danny. You're like almost done with this car.
I'm gonna get it up to 5 stars, and then I'm probably gonna get up to 5 stars and stop there.
I think you can get up to the end at this point, because once you get past here, it's all blues and reds. Or
well, that's the problem is I don't want to spend the reds. I don't want to spend too many reds.
You're gonna cap out if you don't spend them anyway.
Yeah, but how many do I have actually?
Oh, Land Rover's owned by Indians. That's right. Tata owns it, doesn't it?
Tata?
Wasn't it Tata Motors that owns Land Rover? Yeah, Volvo's owned by China. That's correct.
How many reds can we have, Max? Do you know?
You're only going to spend about 1,000 of it total, I think, to get to the end.
No, because those last 3 are like 1,200 each. So probably it'd almost be. You
don't want to get to rank 35 until you get all the stage 6s. So basically, it's up to you how far you want to go.
I think I'm going to leave her here. That'll get me through most of the events.
Come on, you got like 3 fusion slots coming. Just go one more rank.
I'll think about it. We'll see how far we can get here.
You're really hurting me. That's 3. That could make the difference there. Those fusions, between a sucky car and a good car. You really need to get that 1 rank.
Only thing is, I don't really like the car that much. Besides the looks, I'm mainly running this to get more pink tokens. And that's it. I just want the pink tokens and the game cash. Well, I mean, I spent a lot of game cash to get the game cash, so I'm probably losing out on that.
The whole point of collecting this stuff is so you can spend it on something you want, right? That's like why we make money, right? We don't make money to hold on to it and look at it all day. You make money so you can enjoy life.
Oh man!
So if I save that many red tokens and there's a good elite tuner car, it's getting spent. Because you only live once, Daddy. You got to enjoy this before they shut the game down. You leave that car. Come on.
I'm waiting for the next elite tuner car. If it's really good, then I'll dump all those pink ones onto it. That's how I look at it. I'm stingy.
Well, we expect that car to be good at live because of the numbers seems to be pretty good, right, Danny? I mean, it's coming up with pretty good Evo numbers.
On this one?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you really need a couple of stage 6 parts. It's a weird driving car as well, so there's some things about it I don't love, but I don't think it's not gonna be as good at live as some of the other ones we have already. I mean, it should do okay, but I don't know, it's just not, it's a little weird. It's just a little weird.
I think the tier 5 cars start off at about 601 performance point or 600 performance point. They start off in the 600s. Stock. Hold on. Let me go look at my stock tier 5. And the lowest performance point you can see in a tier 5 is actually like 495 or something with a glitch. But what I'm saying is, like, base stock should be like 601 to 604. Oh, there it is. 601, 604.
Actually, you know what? On
like
this combination
the Revolto
of parts,
Lamborghini is 603. So, you know, figure around that range.
Huh.
But there's certain cars that have weird glitches that'll lower that to like the low 500s to even lower. So, yeah, so private. What you're talking about is like the Gamera, which has like a specific parts glitch where if you add certain stage 6s, it drops the performance point way down. So let me see what I have. I know it can go down into the low 500s.
Gamera is a crazy car. Yeah, I don't think that's intentional.
So you can easily put that down to like 560s. Yeah, the FXSK, it's like one of those higher starting stock cars. At one point, that car was actually quite good in live, and we're talking years ago. I used to dominate the lobby, the 10-second lobby with that car, but that's a long time ago, and, you know, good memories, but that car is not really doing much nowadays.
All right, so we got 1,900 Evo. Not bad.
That I did a video on for Tempest 3 Tier 5. I believe you can beat Tempest 3 Tier 5 without stage 6s with that car as well. But it's cutting it very close. I remember it took a lot of tuning, and it was one of my favorite cars for the longest time.
The highest Evo on CSR. There's one car that's got what, like 30, 32, 33? I can't remember which one it is, but I think there's one that gets up into the 3,000s.
It's like an ex-girlfriend, long-distance memory. Yeah, unfortunately, this poor FXK has not been used for a long time. How much mileage did I have on it when I retired it? Let me see. Mine had 1,000 miles on it when I retired it. So, yep, got a lot of use. And that's all live racing miles. So you figured that was half mile, so about 2,000 live races I've done with it. Still one of the coolest looking Ferraris, without a doubt. I actually have two. I got a white with red. The one I really wanted was black with red, but I never got that particular livery, even though I pulled for it in multiple events. And then I have the red one that was a milestone, and that goes back way back too. I think that's like first 2 years when they put that car out as a milestone. So that's like a 2017 or 18 car. But yeah, Ferrari doesn't do well in this game. At least not many of them do well. There are a few that I do use in live racing on my video. I actually showcased them, but not easy to get them to win as much as some of the newer cars. I'm not too keen on that body kit, I'll be honest with you.
This one?
The rear end looked like it lost, like it got chopped off or something. It just
I
looks
think
weird
this is the best out of all of them though. Like the other ones look weird to me. Like the rear end on this one's a little strange, but the rest of it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's almost like the back bumper is actually missing on this one, is what it looks like.
Yeah,
But
yeah. The
besides
back
that, I
bumper got
like it.
removed and chopped or something. It looks weird to
Yeah.
me. It just, I don't know. I don't, and the black. The problem is the black diffuser is hard to see, so it doesn't visually help the look. If the rear diffuser was like red, maybe it'll make it look more coherent. But the black diffuser hides it, so you just see the tucked in butt. So,
Yeah. I don't like any of the body kits for this car, honestly. That one looks the nicest until you, yeah, like Max says, the rear end's weird looking. The rest of it looks awesome, though.
So Private, I'm going to give you a tip about picking Tempest cars, okay? Never pick a car that is hard to get fusions for any Tempest event. Because in this game, a car without fusions, no matter how great it may be in theory, is worthless. And single brand with just one car in the game, you're never going to get enough fusions easily. Especially because it's also a purple star car. Even if you get the gold star version, you're going to be spending, tons and tons of bronze keys to build it. So your best options are the ones that are the most common to get fusions for. McLarens, Ferraris, Audis, those kind of cars are the best. BMWs, which you can get fusions cheap and plentiful. Those are the best options to pick for Tempest, if you could find one that fits. So I know that the M8's not a great car, but the M8 will finish Tempest 3 Tier 5 if you build it and fusion it out. Those are the cars you want to think about, not the Rivera, not like the Apollo. I mean, sure, they can do it, but getting all those fusions as a newer player, good luck. Even Honda, the Honda fusions are not that plentiful before. It is now, but it's not easy to fusion out a Honda. Same thing with Hennessy. We played, those of us who played long enough, because of all the events we've been through, we have a nice collection of fusions, but it's not easy. It's just, I probably burned all my bronze keys because I pulled all these Hennessy F5 Venom Roadsters and I wanted fusions and stage 6s. Good thing is I live race enough that I earned them back pretty quick, but bronze keys are actually really important nowadays.
So, Private, the Navara is a great car for Tempest if you can get enough parts for it. Unfortunately, that's not easy to get parts for.
Yeah, those are the cars I always advise against, because people always ask me, oh, is this a good car? I'm going, yeah, it's a great car, but are you ever going to get enough fusions for it? So,
yeah, if you have a Golden Star one, you're going to have to
game.
spend your keys for sure.
Yeah. Like Aston Martin, you can get fusions for, even if the car isn't as good in theory for other purposes. As long as it's good enough for Tempest, it'll get you through it.
So that's the other thing, like the Venom F5 and the Navara are both very hard to get parts for. See, that's the thing about Tempest 3.
That's because you're using a Ford Focus. The Focus, unfortunately, isn't good.
But when it comes to
Elite
tier...
License 2 Tempest 2, you should not have locked in the Ford Focus. It's a terrible car for that.
Hold on. When it comes to tier 5, most cars can do it. The thing is, you just have to have the parts. Yeah, the Focus is not great.
Don't forget, in Tempest, there's also performance point limits. So you have to lower the performance point for the beginning races. The Navara might be good enough even without many of the parts, but if those parts have no fusions on it, that might get you in trouble.
Yeah.
So, Aston Martin fusion parts you can get by stripping the dealership Aston Martin. That's what I'm saying. There's certain brands you can always get fusions for. Ever since we got the parts crate and bronze key option to get fusions, I'm not as worried about that anymore. It's not as important to most players to spend game cash to buy cars and strip them. But the brands that you can buy very cheap versions for fusions, there are only a few out there, and Aston Martin's not cheap, but it's one of them. So off the top of my head, if I remember correctly, it's basically you can get fusions for Audi, BMW, Nissan, Aston Martin, Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren. by buying, and I mean that, and there are a few other brands, but those are the definite ones you could buy and strip and get fusions for all three types. Because like Ford, you can also do, because you can buy the tier 1 Ford for the green and blue, and then buy the tier 3 Mustang to get the reds. So Ford is also another brand that easily can get fusions. But other brands is very hard, because it's only if you get it from crates. You know what's a car that's actually really good in live that still, I find it surprising yet hilarious, is that Hoonigan Dunk. The Dunk is an excellent live racer, and it looks hilarious beating people in it. The Caprice. Because it's just such a massive car. You know, you're just taking this huge car with huge wheels down the quarter mile and wrecking people with it.
I'm not a big fan of those big giant wheels, but yeah.
Depend on what you have, Brandon. I mean, one is, first of all, what tier 2 cars do you have? And are any of them built? And do you have parts for them? So the Ford Focus RS is definitely not a good choice. I mean, we know that that's one of the slower, older tier 2s. So it won't get you through. Especially Tempest 3. Tempest 2, it may make it, but Tempest 3, it definitely won't. So you want to look at your other options.
I mean, I think the best choices would be the Miata if you have it. That thing doesn't require any stage 6 parts at all. Or if you have the Boxster
RB Miata, yes.
Yeah.
That one you can do without stage 6s, but full fusion. Also, don't forget the Hyundai is good for Tempest, even though it's hard to get fusions. Boxster is good, but you need stage 6s. That's the discussion we were having at the beginning of the live stream.
It almost needs to be maxed, except for don't upgrade the engine and don't install the stage 6 transmission. Everything else, stage 6.
Yeah, but everything else you still need stage 6s. So in tier 2, some of the cars, for example, the AMG, okay, the AMG hatchback is good if you have the fusions and the stage 6s. The Honda Civic Type R Tempest 2, tier 2, actually is good for Tempest. The Alpha 4C Spider, which a lot of people pull a lot of, but hard to get stage 6s for, that car will destroy all three Tempests very easily, fully built. That Benz AMG, if you can get the fusions on it and get some stage 6s from the parts crates, I have a video that showcases all four of those cars. The Boxster, the AMG, the Honda Civic, as well as the 4C. They can all get through it without much of a problem. And I have all the settings and everything. It's a long video. You have to kind of scroll through it to find the AMG. I think it's towards the back. But the Boxster, again, you'll get right through it if you have the stage 6s for tire, body, and nitrous at the minimum. I think turbo and intake's optional for stage 6, but the other three are critical. You need them. But that AMG Mercedes, if you have stage 6s and parts, that thing easily does all the Tempest races. Oh, so Odom, Danny had the good fortune of getting the update early, and then the bad fortune of having auto update on.
Yeah.
So nobody without the update can find him today.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the first few people to get the update. So trying to find me in live racing is almost impossible right now. For even the couple of people that did have the update said they couldn't find me.
Yeah, engine stays stock on the Boxster. So stage 5 trans only and stock engine for the Boxster. That's an important note for that particular car.
For some reason, I can't get the thumbnails for my Elite Tuners car to stay on. Every time I leave the garage and come back, they're back to something or the other. I don't know why it does that. It only seems to be the Elite Tuners cars. I don't know if it's because we changed the colors around or what, but it might be. Yeah, this Rocket Bunny Camaro is quite nice. I did put out a video for this one as well. I'm thinking about maybe upgrading this car for a live racing sub. There's quite a few cars I have that are great live racers, but at the same time, it's like, man, do I really need to upgrade another car? I got so many good live racers. But I'm actually going to see how this does. I might put out a, for the, hold on a second. Where did it go? I lost it.
That actually brings me, somebody posted about 300 SL. I forgot to mention. The 250 GTO Ferrari Tier 2 Legend car. If you have, I think, one stage 6, you can make it through all 3 Tempests. I think it's tire. You need tire for the sprints. But I have a video on that too. Look that up if you haven't already made that Elite licensed car. That's a great option. And Ferrari Fusions are pretty plentiful.
Now,
sorry, Danny, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, it's okay. If this ends up being a good live racer on 5 stars, I'll put out a separate video for that. But I'm liking the numbers I'm seeing for 5 stars. It almost seems like I'm getting better numbers than purple stars. What's up, Max?
The numbers look great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you go to dyno tuning real quick? I want to see something. What time it's dynoing?
Yeah, we're on the 10.6 lobby right now.
10.598. Okay.
Yeah. Now I can tune it to go faster.
Spot for that performance point. What parts do you have on it?
All right, so everything I think is on stage 3 except for the transmission is on stage 4 at the moment. Let's go double check. Yep, stage 4 transmission, stage 3 everything else.
Right, so do this. Can you drop nitrous to stage 2?
Yeah.
And also intake to stage 0 and turbo to stage 0. I want to see what it does with the Evo.
Oh, I lost 2 Evo. Oh my god. You said turbo, right?
Yeah, turbo and intake. Just drop it down to stock for now. I want to see if the Evo goes up or goes down. Oh, the engine as well, actually.
It went down a lot.
All right, so this car is a little more dependent on those parts then. All right, drop engine to stock, but put back turbo and intake. Let's see what Evo it gets to.
All right, what do we get?
Put those 2 back. Because we started at 1900. I want to see the ratio here. All right, so that gets you pretty close to 1900. Go and drop body to 0.
I mean, even that's still great numbers.
Major trigger on the. Yeah, so body changes it a little bit, but not much. All right. So nitrous actually lost a few points when you drop from 3 to 2. So this car is a little different in overall tuning. It's one of those cars where even stage upgrades actually helps it, which is rare actually in most cars. You know, if you add nitrous in, it actually goes up a little bit. Usually when you add stage 3 nitrous on these high evo cars, it goes down, not up.
Yeah, this car is a little different.
So add one stage of engine at a time. I want to see what the performance point versus Evo jump is.
All right.
It's not bad. Well, you did all 3, but it's okay.
All right, so no engine. We've got 1859. With stage 1 engine, we have 1893. Stage 2 engine.
40-point jump.
1874. And then stage 3 is a much bigger jump up to 1920.
And stage 3 actually did not change the performance point. So adding that stage is always worth it because it didn't change anything.
Yeah.
It only added performance.
So yeah, it's definitely an interesting car.
Yeah, so with a car like this, basically, if you add more body stage and more tire and more trans, my feeling is this car is based off of the Legend NSXR's type of tuning. It's not going to help it that much.
Yeah.
What's really going to push this car's Evo up further seems to be engine intake and turbo. And without getting into which stage 6 will be strongest, I suspect engine may be a pretty strong stage 6 for this car. We'll see.
But also, you don't want to
continue to change.
You don't want to get too much over 650 on the performance points either. I mean, you can, but I notice around 650, 660 is usually a sweet spot for the performance points on these type of tunes as well.
Yeah, so 650 is a good spot for anything 10s and slower. But if you are looking to get into like 8s and 9s, 660s to 670s is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you're in the 7s, high 670s even, it's fine. I mean, don't forget, stage 5 only hits 698. So anything less than 670 is still super good in the 7-second, 8-second lobbies. Anything less than 60 or 50 is good in the 9-second lobbies. And then anything under 50 is good in 10. But if you get into 12s, you might want to try to hit as low as like 630, 640 for 12 and 11 seconds. But that's just a general rule of thumb. That's not a specific. It also depends on your dyno. Your actual dyno right now of 10.598 isn't a bad one to start with, because you're likely going to start off facing 11-second cars. So, you know, that's a pretty good starting point for the car.
Yeah.
But when I tune is, and I'm sure Millen would pipe in, we do the same kind of styles. We try individual upgrades at a time, not jump back and forth multiple up levels. And then what you want to see is the balance between the performance point gain to the Evo gain with the fusions installed. And then there's a combination factor too. Sometimes if you add one stage of this and one stage of that, you get a much bigger jump in one or the other. And the benefit is may not be worth it. Let's put it that way. The cost to benefit analysis is on every level of upgrades. And you always want more benefit than cost. And also, you still have to dyno the time, because sometimes it looks great on the numbers, and then you realize that extra stage of intake that theoretically added some points didn't really add that much performance. So, you know, the key is the actual performance has to improve too. Although most of the time, Evo is directly proportional to your performance change. So a high Evo jump means higher and definitely increase in the performance of the car and decreasing the time it runs. Now, the performance point, though, doesn't work that way. So that's where you got to be careful. Sometimes the performance point jump doesn't mean anything for performance. So it's a balancing act of figuring those out. So I am speaking English. I guess it's, I don't know if I'm going over some of you guys' heads with this, but Millen knows exactly what I'm saying, because we've been having this discussion in our crew chat all the time. But yeah, so basically to get down to the basics is you always want to add in the parts that gives you the most dyno change for your minimum gain and performance point. That's your goal when you tune these cars before you go max. So
Private, unfortunately, I don't really have anything that lets you know what the performance point limits are. So Max, do you have any idea what performance point limits you have to have for the Tempest races? Private's asking about Tempest 3 Tier 4.
Well, Tempest, you're talking about Tempest 3 Tier 4 limits?
Yeah, like when you have to...
You start off at 625 for Tempest 3 Tier 4.
All right, 625.
And then it jumps to 630, 640, 658, and then 671, no Tier 4 car will ever hit that, so that's fully maxed. So you have basically 5 different levels of performance point limits in the Tempest. So 625 is where you start. And then after about 5-10 races, it goes to 630, 640, 658, and then 671.
Max has a good memory, guys.
Oh no, I got the sheet right in front of me.
Oh, okay. I got a boss time sheet, but it doesn't actually have that on it. I used to have like a better sheet, but I lost it. It had like all the details on everything, and it disappeared one day. And now I got like the first original boss sheet I made, which kind of sucks. So Mine's not as good.
You know, don't forget the game does change over time, sometimes unintentionally.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that's like 5 years old really doesn't work anymore. I'm surprised my Miata thing still works, to be honest. I would make a new one, but I have no access to Tempest now. I beat it on all my accounts. That's funny. This guy's it's like it's hard to get an invite to that crew chat. Well, you got to be part of the crew, so
yeah. Most crews won't have you unless you're actually in the crew. So they don't want you coming in there and spying on them and telling all their secrets to the enemy crews, right?
No, I don't see it that way. I mean, to have other people challenge you is how you improve, right? When I go into a lobby and somebody beats me, that makes me excited because then I go, "Ooh, he may have a better tune than I do on that card. Let me see what he did." So I go back and try to figure out what I'm doing that could improve it. And within our own crew, we do that. Like, Millen will tell me, "Oh, I got this. This is doing this." Then I'm going, "Ooh, let me go hide in the back for a while and see if I could do something better." So yeah, it's part of what keeps us interested in the game, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't have the garage feature yet.
Some cars don't have low performance point high evo tunes. So the Sea West Skyline, I have it. I haven't played with it recently, but some of these cars you just can't get that to happen because they don't gain evo very fast.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, that's a good chunk of the cars in the game. So, but yeah, it's there's a lot of the strategy is always the same in the end. I mean, we all know there are only so many things you can do, but figuring stuff out and playing with it, that's what's fun about the game. I'm not so worried about losing in a race because I always slow down anyway, and sometimes I mess up, and people beat me by like a few thousands. It's like you go, okay, well, I'm not gonna do anything about that. He beat me, but it's fun to figure out if your car is doing well or not, though. That's we're always tuning around, trying to mess around with that.
I really wanted to upgrade my Gamera.
Yeah, it's a fun crew. That's why I stayed with that crew so long.
I ain't got no parts.
And we got more and more guys that are really into tuning in the crew, so it's really fun now. We have our little lively discussions sometimes. So
Mixon says some crew randomly invited him and they've already got 25 million points. Cool. I mean, not bad, right?
Well, if they invited you but they already collected the car, then you don't get that car this season at least.
How to get into my crew?
Prizes. That's the problem.
My crew currently doesn't really need anybody. Like we'd have to need people, and then we actually have some people on a waiting list. So normally every season, like at the end, I'll make a crew recruitment video, and if we need somebody, I'll usually say something about it on that video. But as of right now, I think we're full and still have a few people waiting.
Yeah, I think social aspect of this game is what kept a lot of crew members playing all these years. Because quite honestly, I mean, we're doing very repetitive gaming. It gets pretty boring if there's nothing going on, right? So, like me and Danny hanging out on live streams is part of the thing that makes it fun for us to keep doing stuff with the YouTube, and it keeps you going. So our limit's not very high, Skies. It's 750K. We're a milestone crew. We're not shooting for top 100 or anything.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. If you want to be in one of those top crews, I mean, you got to spend hours and hours and hours a day. I would say your average person doesn't have the time.
Unintentional buffs, they do happen. What are you looking for, Danny?
I don't know. Some sort of mustard colored muscle car. I forget what the heck it's called. I got it bumped, right? There it is, the Ring Brothers Charger. I got it bumped. And I want to reset it. On these low numbers, it was kicking a major butt, surprisingly. It shouldn't have, but it was. But I was running faster than the dyno by mistake, and I got her bumped. So I'm going to try and race some bots and see if I can reset this bad boy. It's in the 13.4 lobby. I'm going to go live race this on the bots.
Well, I'm in 2 crews, Paul Dog. I'm in Helena Hitman. That's the one that I've been with the longest. But I've also been with Team X Racing for maybe 2 years less than I've been with the other crews. So I'm with both crews long term. So those are my 2 standard crews. I'm always... If you see my game name in the live lobby, usually one is MaxTheGamer YouTube, would be with Helena Hitman. And then MaxTheGamer YouTube 2 would be with Team X Racing. So those are my 2 accounts and 2 crews that I'm with.
Brandon,
both are
the
great
tier
guys.
2?
Both crews have great guys. So, and I've been with both of them long term for many years.
The tier 2 718 Boxster S is very good for a tier 2 car. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's less effective now in live racing over the years because better cars came along, but it's not, it's great for Tempest in the sense that if you get the car built, you see me? You can't be seeing me. I'm not in lobby right now. Somebody with my name, Max. I guess.
There's a fake Max.
It must be a fake Max.
Max, this imposter, is live.
I've never had the good fortune of running into someone using my name. Just like I was always curious, is somebody else using my name? Because I hear about it now and then, and it's like I go in lobby, I never find anybody, so I'm like, eh. So, and I don't use special characters because I'm using I'm too lazy to download stuff to put special characters into my name. So I'm like generic player name. Font.
You can actually search for players. You can type in MaxTheGamer and see how many Maxes come up. I could do the same for Danny Lightnings, and I'm sure there's probably a few of those
when
around.
You do the player search. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I forgot about using that to check. But
yeah. I'm not really sure how crucial the spelling is, but I guarantee you there's a bunch of MaxTheGamers and Danny Lightnings out there.
Oh, my crew guys. Yeah. We have a there's a bunch of my guys that are always hanging out in certain lobbies. And then there are guys like myself, Millen, and my crew leader. We're all over the place. Today we're in the mood to try this one. Tomorrow we're in the mood to try that car. So I tend to jump to different lobbies depending on the day. But my F1s, if you see the McLaren F1s, that's almost always during the wild card, and I'm busy making points. So don't expect me to race you too much in the McLaren. That's probably the one car you don't get to race me much in.
Mm-hmm.
Any other car I'm using is fair game. If I come out of lobby, you challenge me, I'll definitely race you. Oh, here's your chance to reset that charger.
Yeah.
There you go.
Even on the crappy numbers I got, this car was kicking some major butts, so... I think when you're resetting, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you should win most of them and actually lose a couple as well for resetting. I could be wrong, but it kind of seems like that's what works best. You want to win 90% of them?
Yes. I've been to the hitters chat a few times on live on their Discord. So, yep.
Don't they have 90
such a large
crews?
crew though? You guys have 10 sub crews, and the colors get me all confused.
Yeah, they got a lot of crews.
They got a lot of colors. They have every color in the spectrum going here. So 19 crews, Jesus.
Wow, 19. That's crazy. That would be hard to keep up with.
Players.
Wow, that's insane.
Think about that.
That's
600
insane.
players.
That's too many players. Good Lord, that's a lot of players.
Can you imagine managing them all? This is why I don't want to be Like,
Yeah.
you know, as soon as I start thinking about the number, my head starts to swell up. It's like, I gotta manage all these guys? No way.
I mean, I guess that's why you have
Who's
one
wants to
person in
take care of my
charge of
blueberry?
each.
I'm still tweaking that car. I'm still working that car in the different dyno ranges. So 8.2 to 7.8 is a tricky lobby. Very tricky. It moves like each time you jump back into that lobby, it's slightly different depending on what you ran last. It's crazy in there. You know, like I may beat a guy today on the same tune, and the next time I see him in the same lobby, he probably will beat me because I moved. It's weird. That's one of those tricky lobbies to tune for. I'm still trying to find my spot in there. 50% off, nice. There's a good chance to quickly elite your car there.
Yeah, 50% off is awesome. Yeah, 50%'s amazing. That's better than my 40%. I'm jealous.
Boots, what's your IGN in the lobby? I mean, I tend to pop in and out of there now and then, but 8.2 is not one of my favorite places to hang out. I'll just tell you that up front. Because I find it too crazy there with the different tunes and the cars. And people basically will bump me after a few races because either you run some guys that are straight 8.3, 8.4, or you run the guys that are running like 7.6, 7.8. So it's a tricky lobby to really sit in long term. I don't feel comfortable in there, let's put it that way. Do you go into 8.2 a lot, Danny? I don't really see you in there. So I think
No,
you're
not
mostly
very
in,
often.
What, 10s and 9s?
Yeah, I usually stay in like the 10 to 12 second lobbies most of the time.
Okay.
I'm just too lazy to retune my cars for stuff like that. I set the cars up for the live racing streams, for the live streams. I try and keep everything in 10 to 12. And then, I mean, I could probably change some stuff around, but I'm just too lazy, man. I just want to tune it and leave it for the most part.
Oh, yeah,
I should set something up.
It depends on the lobby. Some lobbies are really stable because it's always the same players.
Yeah.
And then other ones, you see so many variety, it's hard to track where you are.
I used to really enjoy the 8-0 lobby. I can't remember what car I used to have set up for 8-0, but that was a nice lobby to be in.
Well, recently I've been in 8.2 a lot, mainly to tweak. Oh, Quentin. Oh yeah, you beat me last time. Why are you looking for me, man? You already had your chance to beat me, and you did. So, yeah, 8.6. So 8.6 to 8.2 is because I actually prefer to be in 8.6 rather than 8.2 because it gets tricky. I think last one you beat me. I was testing out the Audi GT. To see if I can use just a particular dyno to land in a particular lobby. And even at 8.3 dyno, that car got pushed into 8.2s. And you had your F5, right? Is that what you beat me last? I remember running you recently. So
what's up, Dad? What's up, Boots?
That's what I recall anyway. Because I was testing a bunch of Audis, and then they weren't doing too hot in the 8.2, 8.3 range. Let me see. I jumped on the blueberry. Let me see where I am right now with this car. I'm gonna jump in lobby real quick. Oh, okay. You're the fruit guy. Okay. All right. All right. That's cool. Now I'm starting to put some names to the live stream names here. Great.
The fruit guy.
Yeah. He has all the fruits over his name. So when I see him, he's a fruit guy. That's all I can say.
What's up, Coburn? Bad Daddy O, what's up, guys? I've been a little quiet today. I've just been kind of letting Max talk with y'all, so sorry if I'm kind of quieter. Oh wait, what's this? Oh, the finale of the Aston Martin's up on the map. That just popped up today, I think.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at that. The first car looks like you have to buy it.
6 lock-ins.
Yeah, look at the first car, Danny. Look at the first lock-in. I don't think any of us have that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think... No, we don't. Yeah, you're going to have to buy this with real money, I bet.
So it's from the get-go, it's a money event. They're basically saying, look, you know, because this is a purple star. They're not giving us stuff for free.
It might be in the keys, but yeah, you're going to have to get it some way. Yeah, that's not... Yeah, that kind of sucks. Most of the events are getting harder and harder to do. Even like the holiday events that used to be really easy are getting harder for people to do, I've noticed. I mean, I like that they're bringing the holiday events back, but man, they're definitely not making this stuff easy peasy.
I'm skipping that. I already made up my mind from when the first series of events came out. I wasn't going to push for this.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing 2 cars, including that first one. I don't have... Wait, maybe I'm not... I'm missing the... Do I have the Valor? I think I got the Valor. Maybe I got the Valor. No, I'm missing the Valor too. That's the other one I don't have.
It looks like I don't have any.
2 cars, so I'm not going to bother.
I don't have any of them. So it looks like you also have to get the prize car to finish the event. So yeah, that's a lot of cars.
I think the final 10 races is with the prize car if you want to finish all the way.
That would be like over 40 million game cash to get all those cars. 6 times 6 is 36. Probably close to 50 million game cash to level up all those cars if you got them. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, resetting nowadays is basically... One is don't try to reset on the same dyno. You know, don't try to reset on the same setup as you got bumped in. So reset with different parts and then try to reset. Now, if you didn't bump badly, you can just reset by running a few slow races. But if you bumped an entire bracket where you're jumping from like 8.6 to 8.2, then forget it. You're going to have to reset your car's parts to reset the car. That's going to be tough.
That's a long reset if you do it that way.
Yeah,
it used to be so much easier.
And the bump's kind of funny like that. It'll take you like, for a while, you'd be pretty stable in like 8.5, and then boom, you're facing 8.1 guys. And that means you jump the whole bracket. There's nothing you can do about that. You just have to reset the car at that point.
Resetting used to be so much easier than it is now.
Yeah. I mean, now the whole point is they've been working on this issue of people complaining about, you know, the Porsche guys in the 10-second lobbies doing 9-second runs or 8-second runs, right? So, yeah. So you just retuned to go back? That's an option too. I have usually, if I bump small, let's say I go from 8.5 to 8.3, like I start to see opponents jumping from 8.6 to 8.3s, that's still within the same bracket. I can retune and run slow and I'll move back. But if I jump from 8.3 to 8.1, that's an entire lobby jump, like different lobby altogether. In that experience, I usually have to take parts off and change the car a bit, because then it makes it easier for me to reset it.
Lately, for me, retuning hasn't been working. Like I've been trying
I know that part reset tend to work easier because you're lowering the performance point, and it's easier to bump a car down at slower dynos.
I was trying to reset my Bugatti, the white one. What's that thing called? White one with purple stars.
Oh, the
Centodiaci
or something.
Yeah, I cannot get that to reset. No matter how hard I try, that car got bumped and it will not reset. I don't know why.
That's a bummer.
I'm going to have to really change some parts around or do something. One of these days I'll figure it out.
Centodiaci.
Centodiaci.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I might be saying it wrong. I don't know. I call it the Centodiaci. Centodiaci.
That sounds like a Japanese sword. I'm going to cut you down with my Daiachi sword.
Godzilla! Yeah. I get you with a Centodiaci.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you down with the Centodiaci.
It does kind of sound like a Japanese thing, doesn't it? I can't pronounce any of these car names. I suck with it. Some people get so upset. Some people get so mad because I don't pronounce the car names right, but crap, man. I'm, like I say, I'm not a car speech therapist. I'm teaching people how to play a game. I'm not really teaching you about cars. I'm just teaching you how to play a game. That's how I look at it.
DLC.
Now, if I was making a video about the real car,
sounds.
I could see people getting upset, but just a game.
Wow.
The other thing is when you go to find a car name, you go watch somebody else say it, and somebody that's saying it has an accent. Next thing you know, like crap, you go watch somebody else saying that they got a different accent. You watch 6 people say it, they all pronounce it differently because of the accents, and you're like, oh, I still don't know how to say it, so that gets kind of annoying.
Well, because they have their native like sound going, right? That's like if I told you something in Mandarin and you try to say it, it wouldn't be as easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like,
I can speak
I used
some.
to try to teach people how to say thank you in Chinese, and it never comes out right for most people. So.
Yeah, I can speak some Laotian, but I can't say it the way my Laotian friends say it. It doesn't, I don't say it properly to them, but they know what I'm saying when I curse at them. They tell me some bad language, so, they tell me some curse words in Laotian.
Hey, man, when you go to a foreign country, the first thing kids try to teach you is bad language.
Yeah.
Okay? I remember that experience. When I first came here, the first thing they tried to get me to say is like bad words to the teacher. It was funny.
God.
I knew what they were doing, but I did it anyway, just to see if the teacher would try to punish me. And her face wasn't like, her face turned kind of red. She wasn't happy, but she actually didn't do anything to me because she knows that I probably don't speak enough English to know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh man.
But I can tell from her expression that it definitely wasn't a nice word.
Oh, that's funny.
It's fun though. See, the problem with going into lobby with 2 cars at the same time is you get challenged at the same time. Hold on. Alright, so I gotta do one at a time here.
Alright, let's see what time these bots are running. Let's see if my car is reset or not. This guy ran a... Alright, so he ran a 14.1. That means my car should be in the 13.1. Oh, wait. No, he ran a 14.2, so... Yeah, I think I did reset her. Good, good. I'm still going to run some of these bots and go nice and slow.
Yeah, I'm Chinese, Wimpu.
He doesn't sound Chinese, though. I was actually shocked. I'm like, wow, you do not sound Chinese.
See, that... I mean, I don't know what people expect for... Most Asian guys that grew up in the U.S., like, and kind of speak without an accent, all sound the same to me. I understand what you mean by Chinese sounding. I have, parents and clients that sounds Chinese, speaking English. But it depends on... It really depends, right? How you... Yeah, 你好, 你好. So it depends on who you're talking to, really.
Yeah, like most of my Asian friends...
If they stuck with their community a lot, they tend to have a stronger accent than if they didn't stick with their community and had to kind of live out in the Midwest like I did.
Yeah, most of my Asian friends all have an accent, and so do the guys I watch on YouTube, so...
Yeah, but they're probably like... they probably didn't learn English until they were teenagers, which usually changes the way... I sound like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I never actually asked them if they were born. I never asked for their background or anything. But like my buddy Mike Sue, he's I'm pretty sure he was born here, but he still has an Asian accent, But he was in his 20s. I mean, I guess they could have come over here. I'm not sure.
I see Boots. Oh, I guess got challenged by Boots. Hold on 1 second, Boots. I'm in the middle of another race. Hold on.
Wenpu is also Chinese.
I'll accept for now. And
I wish I knew how to speak other languages like fluently. That would be amazing to speak like all the languages. That would be really cool.
A lot of it has to do with the background that you're from, right? So if you like, a lot of European people speak multiple languages simply because that's the background. They tend to have that ability to speak multiple languages simply because of the way they they deal with multiple languages in their own environment, whereas we don't always have that.
Yeah.
It really depends on how well you have everything background wise when you're younger. Particularly, it's easier to learn foreign languages. Once you get to teenager, it's a lot harder. So let's see. Yeah, well, Quentin, your car is definitely faster than mine in this lobby. Now,
all right, guys. So
I think it's actually better. The car is actually quicker if I retune it for a slower dyno. That's the funny part about this car. He's racing my Blueberry that he mentioned earlier.
Bad Daddy-O says, how do we know when we would buy you a coffee? All right, so if somebody makes a donation, so far I've only got one donation on that, and it sent me an email and said, hey, so-and-so bought you a coffee. I was like, oh, cool. But I haven't seen another email yet, so as far as I know, I should probably log on and check, but as far as I know, I've only got one donation, and that was probably like 2 months ago or something. Yeah, it should send me an email if somebody uses that. But guys, we've been going for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I got to get up and move around here pretty soon. So I think we're going to go for about another 10 minutes. So if you guys got any last minute questions, let us know. Ten more minutes. Oh, that's another car I need to set up for live racing again, is the back mono. That's a cool car. I think that, I don't know if that's still a good live racer or not, but I know it was for a long time. I haven't messed with it in a couple of years. Favorite color? I guess my favorite color would be orange. I like orange, and I like green, and I like black. Those are my 3 favorite colors. But I'd say orange is probably my favorite. Ah, Bad Daddy-O bought me a coffee. Thank you, buddy. How long ago did you buy it? Was it today, or was that a while ago? Let me check my email really quick. Ah, crap. I don't have that saved yet. I'll check it later, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Splat says orange is cool. Booze says I'm probably bumped now. Thanks, Max. Sky says Max's favorite color is gray. Max disappeared. He must be on mute for a second. Oh, okay.
I had to. My dog was barking, so I shut the mic down for a second.
Dogs are cool, man, but they can be very, very noisy. Does yours bark a lot?
You see somebody walking by the house, he's like, my chance to let them know I'm here.
Yeah. Ooh, there's somebody. Ruff, 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 ruff. I do wonder, like, is that like a territorial thing? Because sometimes there's really no reason for them to bark, but they do anyways.
I'm pretty sure it's a territorial thing. I mean, they want to let everybody know, I'm the boss.
Yeah. I've never looked up like dog psychology before. Like, I know a bit about people psychology, but not dog psychology, so.
I mean, from what I've learned just from having my doggy is that, that's what they do. When they're on their own property, they tend to be more worked up over stuff.
This is my place. You're walking by. Ruff, 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 ruff.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched a terrible movie not too long ago called Strays. It's about dogs. Oh my god. It was the most like vulgar, awful movie. I think it had Will Ferrell was in it. He was one of the voice actors. Basically, it was like real dogs with CGI mouths that moved. And the things they said were unreal. It was just like, oh my God, this is not happening. It was that bad. Like, it was horrible. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, how would they even be allowed to make such a movie? I mean, it was just the most disgusting, vulgar thing I've ever seen. It was funny, but it was just, crazy. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, but don't watch that movie unless you're ready to be like, oh my God. It's like a shock factor movie. Scott.
Yeah, I pulled an extra Cadillac, and it turned out to be grayish silver, so it wasn't my most favorite extra pull, so that car didn't get built naturally.
You know what's funny, but the Gamera looks good in gray. Most of the cars in this game, if it's gray or silver, I'm like, ew. But the Gamera, I like it. There's a couple that I like in gray, but most of them are just kind of gross.
Yeah, you know what I have is I had the Gamera in like a what's that color? Reddish. It's red wheels, gray with red wheels. I do have that one, and I've been using it. I don't have a problem with it. It looks pretty good.
That is the nice one. If I had more Stage 6, I would build my second Gamera, but I don't have any Stage 6 for it. Like, I guess I dumped all the Stage 6 on my main one, and now I'm out. Because I got that, I did get that one for gold recently, the Purple Star one, which is a little better than my Golden Star one, but one of these days, maybe I'll spend some keys or something. I can spend keys on the Golden Star one to get parts for the Purple Star one if I need to. Yeah, the Gamera looks great in gray. That's one of the few cars. But even in real life, like I remember once or twice, I currently own a silver car and I don't like the color. I've owned a couple of those Mercure XR4 TIs back in the day. They're basically like the American version of the Sierra RS20s. And I had a red one and I had a gray one, or a silver one. I don't know, I just don't like silver. Now I got a frog in my throat. But yeah, I just don't like silver cars in real life. But I do like the new cars that are coming out in that concrete gray color. I don't know if you guys have seen concrete gray. That's a cool color. It looks like primer gray, but it's like glossy. For some reason, I've always liked flat black and primer colors. I'm weird. I'm just weird.
Nothing wrong with those.
I do know, I do once remember, I knew a guy who painted this car flat black and then he tried to wax it. It's like, oh, you don't wax flat paint, buddy. It completely ruined the paint job. It was so messed up.
Oh man, nobody told him about that? He just decided to...
Well, we kind of thought he would have known. I mean, you don't wax a flat black car. I don't know. But he started waxing it, and there is just like these like spots on the car, and you're just like, oh my God, dude, you did what? I think he had to like sand it down and repaint it again. I mean, it was just like, you know, spray paint so it wasn't horrible. It wasn't like an expensive flat paint job, but still, that's a lot of extra work he didn't have to do. All right, I'm gonna put this thing on ending soon, so.
Yeah, we're well over time. That was fun.
Yeah, I figured we'd let this one go a little longer, but I'm starting to not feel my legs, so I need to get up and move here.
I hear you.
I want to say thanks for everybody coming out. You guys are super amazing. Again, if you haven't checked out MaxTheGamer on YouTube, go over there, check him out. Go to his channel, MaxTheGamer. It's all one word. You can probably just, I bet even if you just typed in like Max CSR or MaxTheGamer CSR, it would pop right up. If you can't find his channel, give him a couple of subscriptions. He makes some great videos and some great CSR videos. I think he's been playing a few other games like Forza and Baldur's Gate, but he's got a lot of awesome tutorials on CSR as well. So yeah, check him out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do that. If you haven't liked my channel, do that. I would appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys coming out and hanging out with me. Max, thanks for being here. These things are always fun.
Always a pleasure.
And always again, Melon, you know, Melon's always here on every stream. He's always trying to be really helpful in there. So we really appreciate you as well, Melon. Melon's always answering people's questions and trying to help out. So I don't think Melon's missed a stream in I don't know how long. It's crazy. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I think that's going to wrap this one up. And I guess we'll catch you next time. All right. Later, everyone.
All right, guys. Have a good one.